objection from Talib's family. Ntutuzelo Nene has more.
Music and theatre legend Talib Peterson was shot dead at his Athlone home on 16 December 2006. Talib's wife, Najwa, his killer Wahid Hassan, and middleman Abdul Rasid Mjedi were sentenced for the crime on 11 February 2009. Mjedi, who was sentenced to 24 years for finding the hitman that killed Talib, was released on parole in 2020 after serving his minimum detention period. Hassan, who was sentenced to 25 years for killing Talib, was also released on parole in October last year. Najwa will be hoping for the same as she comes up for parole for the second time. Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
There's been an increase in the number of tourists who are visiting South Africa. Latest data from Stats SA shows that more than 8 million tourists travelled to the country in the last 10 months. Last month, more than 900,000 visitors arrived, marking an increase of 32% from the same period last year. Tourism Minister Patricia de Lille says the department will be submitting a full report on these figures to Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Tourism. She added that guests who arrived for the G20 summit are also being tallied.
We are busy doing the auditing now, and once we have collate and reconcile all the figures and the impact on Gauteng, with the heads of state meeting being hosted there.
De Lille says the uptick in visitors can be attributed to increased air access as well as ease of travel.
From January to October, in the same period in 2024, we had 7.2 million visitors, and for 2025, we had 8.56 million visitors.
And in a disturbing story from further afield in New Zealand, a mother who murdered her 2 children and stuffed them in 2 suitcases stashed inside a storage locker has been sentenced to life behind bars. Hak-Hyung Lee was found guilty of killing her children earlier this year. Lee killed her 6- and 8-year-olds with an overdose of prescription medication in 2018. Their bodies were only found in 2022 when an unsuspecting family pried open the contents of an abandoned storage locker that they bought at an auction. High Court Judge Jeffrey Venning sentenced Lee to life with a minimum non-parole period of 17 years. Gold is trading at $4,160.62 an ounce. The rand is at 17.16 to the dollar, 22.61 to the pound, 19.87 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $62.48 a barrel.
Well, in Nooit Gedacht, heading towards Roodepoort, Krugersdorp area, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N14 westbound approaching Malibongwe Drive. There's also roadworks causing delays still in the Calvin Alex area on the N3 in both directions. This is between London Road and the Patlu interchange, while in the Mother City. We also have roadworks on the elevated freeway. This is heading into the Cape Town CBD.
It's a partly cloudy afternoon in Gauteng with isolated showers and thundershowers expected. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 25 and 27 degrees, while Cape Town is partly cloudy with a fresh southeasterly wind and a high of 28. The top story on EWN this hour. Controversial businessman Vusimuzi Matlala has taken the hot seat at Parliament's ad hoc committee, which is probing allegations of police corruption.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app. You're with Mandy Wiener on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 and Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. Think bigger, think Nedbank Commercial Banking. On the show today, Kat Matlala has begun his testimony at the ad hoc committee. We'll take you there live. The Cape Town Mayor welcomes the police committee probe into violent crime. Judge's matter calls for judge accused of corruption to be suspended immediately. And the Proteas have won the first test series in India in 25 years. All of that over the next hour.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app, DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Report on 702 and Cape Talk with me, Mandy Wiener. Great to be with you. Well done to the Proteas. What a remarkable achievement. Did you see that last catch by Marco Jansen? It was unbelievable. He's the man of the match today, of course. But the first time that the South African team has won a test series in India in 25 years. Remarkable what the Proteas have been able to achieve just from a transformation point of view. How far we've come with the cricket and transformation and how good this team is. So well done. Themba Bavuma still yet to lose a test match as captain. We'll speak about that a bit later on, but let me know your thoughts. Send me a WhatsApp voice note, 072 702 1702, 072 567 1567. So much anticipated, Kat Matlala on the stand. We're going to do things a little differently on the Midday Report today. We're going to take as much of this live as we can because I think it's important testimony. So the ad hoc committee sitting at Kgosi Mampuru prison. Kat Matlala is there. He's in a white collared shirt with the sleeves rolled up. He is being questioned by Norman Arendse, who is the evidence leader, Norman Arendse SC. So let's bring you up to speed with what you've missed so far. For me, the most important thing I think I heard was that he has 9 children. And then Norman Arendse said, are you called Kat because you have 9 lives or because you have 9 children? He was like, because I have 9 children. All with the same woman, in case you were wondering. Babalo Ndenze, EWN reporter, is there for us. Babalo, good afternoon to you. Take us through what happened this morning. We know that there were attempts by Kat Matlala's lawyers to have him not testify today. So how did it all unfold?
Yes, indeed, Mandy. A few delays this morning. There were issues yesterday from his lawyers. They sent a letter to the committee, even threatening to take, an urgent application to prevent Kat from appearing today and tomorrow and Friday. But it seems like they've sorted out this in the back room with the evidence leaders. Kat eventually agreed. He was escorted into the building by DCS officials. He's dressed in casual clothing. He's not dressed in any prison uniform. He's giving evidence. And he's basically at the moment touched on his background in business. He says he was born in Humber Road East. He started informally business selling, goods. And he confirmed to the committee that he also has 1 conviction under his name, and he was arrested for selling stolen goods. And he says he moved from those informal business ventures into, more formal security businesses where he was, guarding schools and other construction sites, etc., before he got into the medical side of things. And he says that at some point, he did start to get, some good tenders as far as his Medicare 24 company is concerned. And he says, he managed to get these through his own connections. And he also been questioned by the evidence leader, Norman Arendse, about, the premises that he secured in 2024, which hosts the police college. And this is quite a key part of the evidence that will be led today, because this is, according to the evidence being led, it was done in anticipation that he would be getting this 360 million rand tender. But Kat Matlala denies this. He says, in fact, that premises is owned by Public Works, and he managed to get that through Public Works and not the Department of Health or the Police Department, I beg your pardon. And he denies it was in anticipation of anything. So they're currently going through, his business background. He also, as you've mentioned, he's also touched a bit on his personal life and his children, etc. And he says, he supports all of them. So the evidence leader is just trying to, get through some of these things before he gets into the details of the tenders and the payments allegedly, and just to give you some idea of what will be asked by the evidence leader in his statement. And just to tell the listeners out there, his statement is not signed yet. It will only be signed a bit later, but they will be knocking off at 5. But in his statement, there is a paragraph that talks about a 300,000 rand payment to former Minister Becky Cele, which was an initial payment to the former minister. So we do expect Kat Matlala, through the evidence leader, to give us more details on exactly which prominent South African politicians or individuals that he paid off, over the last few years, and after getting that tender that was cancelled in December last year, Mandy.
Babalo, thank you very much. Babalo Ndenze, EWN reporter at the Kgosi Mampuru prison, where the ad hoc committee is currently sitting. Kat Matlala on the stand. Let's take you there live now.
Holding company.
Mike van Wyk, he is the founder.
Mike van Wyk.
Yes.
So when did you first meet him?
I'll say around 2017.
2017.
Yes. 2016, 2017, somewhere there.
Is he and or Venter, are they the ones who first approached you?
Yes.
Why do you think they would have approached you?
It's a business opportunity.
Just as a business opportunity?
Yes.
And at that stage, 2017, we know that you have an interest in several companies as a director, as a shareholder. But was your big business interest still the VIP protection service?
Yes, by then, yes.
By then?
Yes.
And they approached you?
Yes.
What was your reaction to when they approached you? This is a bit far removed from what you do in business.
Yeah, I think maybe if I can elaborate further.
Please.
So what they wanted to do is he first asked me, what do I do for a living? And I told him that, listen, besides the security thing, I do RFQs, meaning I supply medical equipment to hospitals. So then when I mentioned the word hospitals, that maybe that's when I got his attention, because he's also into healthcare. Then he told me that, listen, we want to expand to, we want to send proposals to manage clinics which are in the townships. But since you are black and maybe you can have a much more advantage than us, so why don't you register the company for you, and then you get business and we do the management, and then you can take the rest.
So what was the quid pro quo? It sounds like, and you can comment on it, and sounds like they wanted you to front for them and secure business because who you were, and you're black, African, and you could tender for business. You get the business and they would administer this business. Was that the deal?
No, that's not the deal. What I believe, if someone is fronting, I don't think you'll be 100% in charge of their finances.
So what was was there a genuine business deal?
It's a genuine business, yeah.
So tell us about this genuine business deal. What was the deal?
Like I said, they do the management part. They manage the clinics.
Yeah.
And then, meaning I have to pay them for the management fee.
So was that the same arrangement that would have applied to the Medicare 24 Tshwane District tender award?
Yes.
You applied?
Yes.
And you applied in your own name?
Yes.
This entity?
Yes.
Was that a, now they had a holding company, isn't it?
Yes.
Van Wyk and Venter.
Yes.
And the Tshwane District entity, was that your own?
Yes, and yes.
Was that like a franchise?
Yes.
And did you pay for it, or did they give it to you?
No, they didn't give it to me. I pay every contract that I secure, and then that's how I pay. There's the percentage that you pay for each and every contract.
How much did you pay?
I think for the last contract, the thing is, regarding this SAPS contract, I do not want to get deeper into that thing because there's an ongoing investigation about that. So I'll prefer not to talk further about the contract of SAPS because I don't want to compromise the investigations or even incriminate myself.
But can you confirm that you paid them for your franchise?
Yes, I can confirm that.
And when you,
it's in the bank statements as well, which the police have.
So, and so, when you bid for the Tshwane 2024 contract, the SAPS contract. You did so on your own, through your own company.
Yes, through my own company, Mr. Arance. But like I said, I do not want to go deep into this Medicaid 24 SAPS contract thing.
But the services that would be rendered, those services would in fact be rendered by Van Wyk and Venter, the holding company, isn't it? The administrative side of it.
Yes, that's correct.
And that would have, was that indicated in the tender bid document?
Is there? Yes.
Or was it left unstated?
No, I've supplied the franchise documents.
So in the bid document, which we'll look at in a bit more detail later, would it have been indicated that some of these services would in fact be rendered also by the holding company?
I would love to help about that, but like I said, I think we're going now into the deep inside the contract of SAPS, which I said earlier that I do not want to speak about that now, as this is ongoing investigation. So can you please just respect that? I do not want to incriminate myself or compromise the investigation.
Okay, let's perhaps just excuse me. Perhaps let's go to the health risk services contract. Which
to what?
The health risk services tender contract. Can we just go there? You deal with it from paragraph 16 of the draft statement. Of the statement. On page 5. Do you see it there?
Yes, I see it.
Yeah. So,
may I please take Honorable Sangon?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Apologies, SC. No, I'm being disturbed by Mr. Matlala's response to not wanting to answer questions after he had taken the oath, which was based on you having read to him, Chairperson, the immunities that are there for him in line with the Powers and Privileges Act, specifically 16.2, which says a person who is being examined under oath or affirmation in terms of section 15 may be required to answer any question put to him in connection with the subject of the inquiry, produce any document that he or she is requested to produce under the section, despite the fact that the answer or the document would incriminate him or would tend to expose him or her to criminal and civil proceedings. Now, it was said when we started that we are not in a court of law. We do operate under the legislation, specifically this, the Powers and Privileges Act of Parliament. And I think we're going to have to get resolution on that matter, Chair, because we can't have a witness that appears, has taken an oath and then says, I can't answer because I may incriminate myself. I think we need direction on that matter. Thanks, Chair.
Honorable Skosan.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to find out, it's a follow-up. I heard that somebody was paid, Mr. Matlala, I'm not sure, through you, Chair. Who was paid?
Are you referring to the Medicare contract?
Yes.
That was management fee that I was talking about.
Who was paid?
The holding company.
You paid the holding company?
The management fee, yes.
Yeah, because I'm through you, Chair. I'm not sure whether that management fee was part and parcel of the contract itself. The money which you paid to the...
Between myself and the holding company, yes.
Or it was your contract between you two?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Not the police?
No.
Thank you.
Mkone, Honorable Sangwen is right that when we administered oath here, we read to you the relevant section in the rules that the evidence that you depose here under oath is part of the immunities that you enjoy here, cannot be used against you anywhere outside these proceedings.
Okay, can I answer to that?
You are welcome to say anything.
They cannot be used against me by who? Because if you say they cannot be used against me by the committee, that I understand. But if someone is investigating me and there's something that I'm saying now which can incriminate me, obviously they will use it against me.
Yeah, what we have read from you here comes from what we call a national legislation, which is about the powers, privileges and immunities of Parliament and provincial legislatures. The Act is an Act of 2004. So any person who has been invited to appear before Parliament or a committee of Parliament takes an oath, and the privileges or immunities that go with you having taken an oath under that legislation is that any information or evidence that you depose before a committee or a House of Parliament can never be used anywhere outside that committee or House of Parliament. So it means there is nobody who can come to you and say, this is the evidence that you deposed before a committee or a House of Parliament. It can't be used. It's only Parliament that has that exclusive right to use that evidence, because you shall have taken oath through us.
Okay. My concern is, firstly, I heard you saying when you were speaking about the immunities, you were speaking about there's some other exceptions which you mentioned, and also whoever who might be investigating me might come later and say that I had this from my source, not from the committee, and then use that against me.
Your hand is up, Honorable Malim.
No, Mr. Matlala, it simply means that whatever you share in this committee will never be taken from this committee and say, on the basis of this, we are charging you because you gave the committee this evidence which is incriminating you, and therefore we are using it to charge you. So let's say on Medicare, they can't say, you are not charged with Medicare. They can't say what you said here about Medicare is now being used as evidence to charge you on the basis of you saying it here. But if they come and say a source gave us this, obvious, in a criminal case, they will have to reveal who is this source and what is the credibility of the source and where did the source this evidence that is being used against you. And if it comes back to Parliament, it will not stand the test of time in a court of law because you produced it here in Parliament.
Yeah, yes, I hear him very well, but also I heard you mentioning some exceptions with these immunities, but I didn't get those exceptions. That
it's a charge of perjury.
Yes, perjury. Yeah.
Yes. Or a charge relating to evidence or documents required in these proceedings. So if only any.
Sure. So Kat Matlala on the stand there, a lot of back and forth, quite abrasive, I thought. He doesn't want to implicate himself. He's explaining why he won't answer. And this is the real pressing point is about that tender, that he needs to answer questions. So we'll go back there after the break for a little bit as well, just to bring you the latest.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 and Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently.
Real growth needs more than just banking, and Nedbank Commercial Banking is your growth partner. Their team of industry experts understand your business and its potential, offering insight to help you see opportunity where others see obstacles. Because when you can see what others don't, you can do what others can't. Think bigger. Think Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently. Nedbank is a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Those trusty old shoes. There for your first move out of home. That marathon training that lasted a day. The quick runs to the store. The long nights out. Yeah, they've done the most for you. But with the Street Store, they can do even more for someone else. Visit thestreetstore.org to find out more about donating your pre-loved shoes and clothes to the world's first rent-free pop-up clothing store for the homeless. Donate before December 6, 2025.
A man driven to the edge. I don't know where you are. I don't know who you're with. When his beloved takeaway was taken away. I will look for you. I will find you. And I will eat you.
It's the summer of stars at Simply Asia. Stand a chance to win a Toyota Starlet when you spend 200 Rand or more on our famous flavors. Order now. Simply Asia. Connecting the Thaiway.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a parent shuttling his kids, with a back seat full of chatter, laughter, lunchboxes, and lost shoes. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's a regular yet special slice of a family's life. Every story's different, and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005, in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
12:30, time for Eyewitness News headlines.
Thanks, Mandy. A very good afternoon to you. Suspected criminal kingpin Vusumuzi Kat Matlala is taking Parliament's ad hoc committee through the various business ventures he is involved in. Matlala is appearing before the committee today following attempts by his legal team to delay his testimony. The committee, which is probing allegations of police corruption, is sitting at the Hoshimamburu prison where Matlala is currently awaiting trial. The Ukrainian government has admitted it has foreign fighters in its army, but it says, unlike Russia, they were not manipulated to join it. Kyiv's statement comes on the back of claims by 17 South African men who say they were duped by the Umkhonto weSizwe party to fight for Russia in its ongoing conflict with the Ukraine. And in China, 4 people, including a firefighter, have died in a fire at a residential estate in Hong Kong. Police rushed to the scene after receiving multiple reports of people being trapped in a building. The blaze was initially classified as a number 1 alarm fire, but quickly raised to number 4 shortly after. Those are the headlines. This EWN and more at 1 or as it happens.
EWN Sport.
Good afternoon, I'm Tolagele Mganga. South Africa beat India by 408 runs in the second test to complete a whitewash and their first series sweep in the country since 2000. Chasing 549 for victory, India were all out for just 140 on the final day as Ravi Jadeja top scored with 54. Captain Themba Pavuma has praised spinner Simon Harmer. That's after he finished with figures of 6 for 37.
I think Simon, obviously, he's coming in heavily posted. Our resources from a spin point of view, as a team over the years, we highly relied on Keshav Maharaj. Probably wasn't at his best in this series. I think the way Simon came in and he did what he had to do, and also supported by the other guys, David Mockram, Tasami, getting that breakthrough for us. But I mean, I've always said this, our bowling has always been a strength of ours. And again, the way the guys have stepped up, even though we didn't have our main bowler being Kagiso, it was incredible.
There's just one Midway Premiership game this evening as Orbit College hosts Stellenbosch. Last night, Orlando Pirates moved joint top with Mamelodi Sundowns following their 2-0 win over Chipa. After that game, Adeslam Modu discussed the future of Mbegeze Limbogazi, who's been linked with a move to MLS side Chicago Fire.
I am not aware about this news. For me, Mbokazi is still in my group. Today, like I just said, I rotate the players. He's one of the most important player in my group. He's still, for me, still with me, and that's it. He's my player still.
And Canada's most decorated female Olympian, Penny Oliasak, has accepted a 2-year suspension for failing to report her whereabouts 3 times within a year. Failing to do so constitutes a doping violation because it obstructs drug testing. In a statement, the Aquatics Integrity Unit say her period of ineligibility runs from the 15th of July 2025 to the 14th of July 2027. Tolagele Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Well, at this stage, if you're heading towards Krugersdorp, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic in Nooitgedacht on the N14 westbound approaching Malibongwe Drive. There's also slow-moving traffic in and out of the Joburg CBD on Main Reef Road between Anderson and Nasrec Road. Also, the M2 westbound traffic is a bit sluggish. This is between the Crown Interchange and Main Reef Road. Look out for those faulty traffic lights. That's in the Edenvale area at Modderfontein Road and Van Riebeck. There's slow-moving traffic due to roadworks in the Mother City on the R300 northbound approaching Hindle Road. Also bumper-to-bumper traffic on the elevated freeway heading into the Cape Town CBD. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
You are not dreaming. You are repeating. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
As an FSCA regulated broker, Prime XBT gives you the confidence to trade market volatility your way. Enjoy low trading fees, advanced tools across crypto futures and CFDs, and VIP discounts of up to 70% available to new traders. Take advantage of free deposits and withdrawals with crypto options and local South African payment methods. Prime XBT, empowering traders to succeed. Trade responsibly. Trading comes with risk.
Pain management is a part of so many people's daily lives. With headaches, muscular pain, dental pain, menstrual pain, and even pain from tension. With Adcock Ingram OTC, build a pain survival pack for you and your family. With a comprehensive treatment range for mild to moderate pain, we have you covered all year round. Available over the counter at your pharmacy. Ask your pharmacist for the Adcock Ingram OTC Pain Survival Pack and visit beprepared365.co.za.
Small businesses are anything but small. They're the backbone of our communities, the dreamers, the doers, the ones who keep Mzansi moving forward. That's why 702 and Capitec Business Banking are putting them in the spotlight. Every Thursday between 6 and 8 p.m., catch Small Business Focus with Capitec, where we showcase the hustle, heart, and the secrets to thriving in today's economy. Your vision matters, and with Capitec, you're never building it alone. Small Business Focus with Capitec, the business bank for everyone. Thursdays between 6 and 8 p.m. on 702. Capitec Bank is an authorized FSP 46669.
WhatsApp Mandy
on 072 702 1702.
Hi Mandy, yes, congratulations to the Proteas for beating India in India. That's quite an achievement, and like you said, they are transformed and still transforming, and this is all despite the disgrace of the governing body, which is KSA. Anyway, thank you, Joe.
Yo, Mandy, this man doesn't want to answer, and he's showing the middle finger to the parliament. And actually, we are seeing an embarrassment to the parliament, because this guy is telling them that I'm not answering anything from you. I'm not legally obliged to answer some questions because they may incriminate me. I mean, who on earth will just come on public and say that I did 1, 2, 3, and that thing is not used at a later stage in court. Even myself, I can just say, I'm not answering that. This is just an embarrassment. Kat Matlala is actually embarrassing the parliament. All of them. It's just embarrassing them.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think that why would he criminate himself? He's not going to answer. They've now told him to go and meet with his lawyers and discuss this over lunch about why he's compelled to answer the questions. But there's still this to and fro going on. We'll take you back there in a short while, but we'll just push pause on that and update you on what's happening at the Madlanga Commission, because we were expecting evidence there today from the KZN police chief. That now has not happened. It's been postponed until Friday. The Hawks Head, that is. Jeremy Michael, spokesperson for the Madlanga Commission, joining us now. Jeremy, good afternoon to you. Thanks very much for your time. I understand that there's been a postponement there.
And a very good afternoon to you too, Mandy, and your listeners. Yes, indeed. We've had a postponement of Major General Senona, as you said, the KZN Hawks head. He was meant to testify today, but in terms of an agreement reached between the Commission's legal team and his legal representatives, he will now be testifying before the Commission on the 27th of January 2026. And they have agreed that he will submit to the Commission a witness statement by the 16th of January.
And then tomorrow you are also due to have a witness. That's not happening.
Indeed. The acting, Ekhuruleni Metro Police Chief, who of course has been suspended, Julius Nkwazi, is now appearing, I can confirm, before the Commission next Wednesday.
So we resume on Friday then, this week?
Yes. On Friday, we will have regarding the disbandment of the political killings task team, General Sentumule from the SAPS head office. She will be appearing this coming Friday. And I should perhaps add that in addition to Mr. Mkwanazi, next week we will also have Ms. Mashazi, the former Ekhuruleni city manager, as well as Lieutenant General Sibia. I can confirm that those individuals will be appearing before the Commission next week.
Thank you. Interesting. Jeremy Michael, spokesperson for the Madlanga Commission, confirming there that we will be hearing from Shadrach Sibia. I think that's going to be a fascinating testimony to watch. But the Madlanga Commission now postponed until Friday.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 and Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently.
Judges Matter is calling for a Gauteng High Court Judge charged with corruption to step down and be suspended immediately. If you've been following that story, the police confirming that the allegations against the judge are to do with alleged gratification in an attempt to influence a civil case that the judge is currently presiding over in the High Court. Mbekizeli Benjamin is the Research and Advocacy Officer at Judges Matter. Mbekizeli, good afternoon to you. The concerns around corruption in the judiciary, it's something we've heard about in the allegations that are before the Madlanga Commission. I've always said that I think the judiciary is rather untainted, but this tells a different story.
Good afternoon, Mandy, and good afternoon to the listeners. Yes, it definitely, this latest incident tells a completely different story. For example, this is the first time in the history of democratic South Africa that a judge has been criminally charged relating to their role as a judge. And so it is an unprecedented situation where you have not only a statement on social media, but actually a police investigation and even a prosecutor authorizing a prosecution against the judge, especially in relation to corruption and decision-making or to influence a court outcome. So it is unprecedented. It's not something that we've ever encountered before. It is completely different from all other allegations that have been swirling on social media in the past.
So you're calling for this judge to be charged, to step down and be suspended immediately. I mean, isn't that obvious? Doesn't that happen immediately?
No, it does. It does not necessarily happen automatically, Mandy. Ordinarily, the ordinary route is that if there are allegations against the judge, they have to be supported on affidavit and submitted to the Judicial Service Commission, which then undertakes an investigation and recommends that a tribunal be established. But there is provision in the Judicial Service Commission Act where if the JSC reasonably believes that there are allegations of gross misconduct against the judge, for them to put the judge on suspension immediately, even while the tribunal process is going to be undertaken. And the circumstances in this case are different in the sense that there is evidence submitted by the police that they are using then to prosecute in terms of the NPA. And so that puts it at a completely different in that the JSC doesn't necessarily have to wait for a complaint. They can use the evidence that has been already put in the police docket to act. And so that's why we are saying that they should go ahead and urgently convene and then make a decision on this case to place the judge on suspension.
Mbeki, thank you very much. Mbeki Benjamin, Research and Advocacy Officer at Judges Matter. Very concerning. You know, I've always said that I think that the judiciary is untainted, that we still have confidence in the judiciary. But when you start to see an allegation like this, a criminal charge like this, it really does make you worry.
Psst. Hey, no longer feeling like the man you used to be? The man who introduces himself and people say, I know.
The fact is, 95% of men with low testosterone go untreated.
Vitamin High Performance Supplements for men helps recharge energy, regain lean muscle, and reload performance. Available at all good pharmacies and vitalamin.co.za. Vitalamin. Don't get older, get better.
Hey, Chummy. Sorry I missed your call. I just got back from Discount where I was doing my Christmas shopping, you know, spoiling the fam, when I spot these signs about better rewards. Turns out you can unlock special promo prices just by being a member. So obvious, I'm in. Long story short, I loaded my trolley with all the gifts and goodies and headed to the till. My slip, it just kept going and going. And my savings, I could literally see the difference. It's true. My till slip never looked better. You should better reward yourself too, hey? Okay, friend, bye.
You're up at 4 a.m. trying to find the cheapest building materials, but the Zaminis just shop online with Cash Build whenever. You then pay for expensive delivery or pay Tsapo to fetch you with his van. But the Zaminis inquired about free local delivery. So abantu bazotini, when you are still bargain hunting, but the Zaminis are already putting up festive decorations. Be like the Zaminis. Make smarter decisions for your home and shop online with Cash Build for quality building materials at the lowest prices. Cash Build.
Access to the internet is vital for any country to grow. That's why the recent 6.75 billion rand digital infrastructure deal that Standard Bank Corporate and Investment Banking facilitated between Telkom and an Actors-led consortium is so transformational for South Africa. It unlocks growth and provides internet access to underserved communities who will now have access to the internet for the very first time. Search CIB Stories of Impact to watch the full story.
Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
And now, it's back to Mandy Wiener on the Midday Report.
This is 702.
Let's walk the talk.
12:47 on the Midday Report with me, Mandy Wiener. So it looks like there's been some kind of resolution between Kat Matlala and Norman Arendse, essentially that they will have a conversation during lunch. Kat Matlala will speak to his lawyers about what he can say, what he can't say. Also, there are mistakes in the affidavit that is still unsigned that has been given to the Commission. We are now continuing with questions to do with Tembisa Hospital. Let's listen in live, and this feed is courtesy of Newsroom Africa.
Medicare contract on the basis of the record of Medicare 24 holdings?
Yes, which I also supplied them with these documents of the franchise document and the holding company's document.
But you applied, or you tendered, rather, for the SAPS contract in the name of Medicare 24 Tshwane District, not in the name of Medicare 24 Holdings.
Yes, it's a franchise, yes.
And when you applied, or when you tendered for the contract, it was you in your name, and you were the sole director and 100% shareholder, is that right?
Yes, that's right, yes. So we're not packing this contract and then we'll see it after one and then deal with other issues here, because I think what we agreed on is that we rather let's pack it for now, and then after one, when you consult with the legal team, then you can come back to this.
So, and we know from your evidence now that Medicare 24 Holdings is actually wholly owned and solely owned by Mrs. van Wyk and Venter. You're not a shareholder, you're not a director in Medicare 24 Holdings?
Yes, I'm not.
So don't you think you tendered for the contract under false pretenses?
No, it's not under false pretense. It cannot be under false pretense because I've given them all the necessary documents.
Did you indicate in your tender that the services would actually be provided by Medicare 24 Holdings and not by Medicare 24 Tshwane District? Because we know from your evidence, you've got no track record in this field.
Yes.
And we're talking about a huge 350 million rand contract where you will service our officers, men and women, in the field doing an important job to protect us.
What's your question?
So my question, or what I'm putting to you, didn't you think it was important to disclose that in fact the entity that would supply the services and actually perform the contract is actually Medicare 24 Holdings and not Medicare 24 Tshwane District?
Hence, I'm saying those documents are in the bid documents. I've gave them those documents.
Okay. So, unless my colleague, Ms. Zikalala, will in due course discuss with you the evidence that was given by General Fani, who is the chairperson of the Bid Adjudication Committee, that did make the award in the first place, but then that award was subsequently set aside after there was an internal audit and then subsequently a final audit which resulted in the contract being cancelled. Because there were a number of irregularities that were highlighted in the audit reports. Are you aware of that?
I heard about that.
You heard about it. And you also heard that there was no proper audit, proper due diligence done.
That is not true.
Okay, so you heard about it, so on what basis do you say it's not true?
They came to the clinic and then they did the due diligence. So when they say not proper, meaning it must be from their side, so that I can't be held accountable for that. I don't know when he's saying it was not handled properly, what was he trying to, because I'm not the one who will need to dictate how much they do their due diligence. But what I know is they came to the facility to do that due diligence.
Yeah. So how would you know whether or not a due diligence has been done or is being done when you bid for a contract? Are you contacted? Are you questioned?
Yes, they tell you that on this day they will come for due diligence.
Yeah, anatomy of corruption in South Africa. Talk about a guy who doesn't want to be there. Kat Matlala on the stand at the ad hoc committee sitting at Kgosi Mampuru prison.
Do you suffer from heartburn and hyperacidity? To relieve heartburn for the whole day and night with one tablet, a potent once-a-day treatment which was previously prescription only is now available over the counter. Ask your pharmacist for an over-the-counter, long-lasting heartburn treatment. Brought to you by Sandoz.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car full of groceries and a lady who will be attempting to make her mother-in-law's famous recipe for the family dinner tonight.
5 mils of sugar.
The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's butterflies and a potential bonding moment. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005, in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
You're up at 4 a.m. trying to find the cheapest building materials, but the Zaminis just shop online with cash build whenever. You then pay for expensive delivery or pay Tapo to fetch you with his van. But the Zaminis inquired about free local delivery. So abantu bazotini, when you are still bargain hunting, but the Zaminis are already putting up festive decorations. Be like the Zaminis. Make smarter decisions for your home and shop online with cash build for quality building materials at the lowest prices. Cash build.
702 was in conversation with 10X Investments on 702 Drive with John Perlman, discussing how South Africans can secure and build their future financial wealth one smart investment at a time.
You hit the nail on the head there. There's so much information online these days, very few places that have everything at once. So I think the first one is, how does an investor actually source all the information that they need to know? Another sort of pitfall that I see investors make sometimes is they don't shop around, and they also don't choose different types of investment companies to get a difference in opinion.
10X your future. Find out more at 10x.co.za. 10X is a licensed FSP provider. 702.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener.
Let's walk the talk.
So let's step away from Kat Matlala's testimony for a moment, because it would be remiss of us not to speak about the Proteas today, winning the first Test series in India in 25 years. A remarkable performance by Themba Bavuma and his team. Firdaus Munda, ESPN Crick Info journalist and commentator, joining us now. Firdaus, good afternoon to you. It really was a remarkable achievement, wasn't it?
Goodness, yes, Mandy, absolutely. I mean, all the words that we can think of right now. It's not just the first win in 25 years. This 408-run win is also India's biggest home defeat. So South Africa have really inflicted some wounds there. They've swept the series. And, you know, some of the players, Marco Jansen and Tristan Stubbs in particular, were not even born the last time South Africa beat India in a series in India. So it's a massive, massive achievement. They've won 3 out of 4 in the subcontinent in the last 2 months.
That's a wild stat. That's so interesting. But the one thing that I remarked about earlier was that this is a truly transformed team. And cricket's been through so much over the past few decades. And you make this point in a tweet that you posted, that you said, it makes me so emotional knowing this is what the generation before us fought so hard for. A winning team, a together team, a true South African team.
Yeah, I think it has been remarkable. You know, South Africa's previously very successful team from about 2007 to 2014 very much fed into one demographic. It had a little bit of a boys' club vibe to it. We've heard testimony about people feeling left out. This is a team where you can really see a lot of togetherness. And I actually think the best example of that is Simon Harmer. So South Africa brought back the off-spinner who took a Kolpak deal in 2017 and didn't say some great things about transformation, about the security of South African cricket. He rankled some people people in the establishment. And they knew that he would be very good in these conditions. He's got over 1,000 first-class wickets to his name. He's been the leading bowler for Essex in 2 out of the last 9 seasons, and he's been in the top 10 every other time. And he also seems to have come back with such a humility, saying things like, maybe I'm not going to be in the team next time because Keshav has got an amazing record, and I realize that, and I want to contribute this time. And to see this taking shape in front of our eyes, led by a very astute, very prosaic captain in Temba Bavuma, and then the kind of everyone's favorite uncle, Shukri Conrad, I just think they've got the mix right. They've got guys who enjoy playing together, who represent the country with pride, and now the results are coming, which is, what more can you ask for?
And what does it mean for cricket in South Africa going forward?
It's huge. I mean, this win could put South Africa right on the brink of another World Test Championship final. Of course, they'll have to do well against England and Australia at home. But, they're second on the table right now, and they've set the tone for trips to the subcontinent to come. They now have the recipe, and they know how to win there.
Well, let's hope they keep on winning indeed. Well, Firdaus, thank you so much. Firdaus Munda, commentator, journalist at ESPN Crick Info. Well done to the Proteas. I know that I've been banging on about this, but I think that it's hard to and I think Firdaus has tried to explain that how significant it is that they have won by such a large margin, but that they've won the first Test series in India in 25 years. That deserves all the applause.
The Midday Report.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. It's been fascinating listening to Kat Matlala. Quite abrasive is how I would describe him in his tone, in his demeanor. He's a little bit dismissive of Norman Arendse. I think that we're going to see a lot going down there today. It already looks like Norman Arendse is getting a bit worked up with Kat Matlala as well. So keep listening, keep watching that, and I'm sure it's going to be pretty eventful going forward. The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener on 702 in Cape Talk is brought to you by Nedbank Commercial Banking. Think bigger, think Nedbank Commercial Banking. It's 1 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Vusimuzi Kat Matlala takes MPs through his business ventures and Parliament to lay a criminal complaint against former RAF CEO Collins Letswalo. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. Suspected criminal kingpin Vusimuzi Kat Matlala is taking Parliament's ad hoc committee through the various business ventures he is involved in. Matlala is appearing before the committee today following attempts by his legal team to delay his testimony. The committee, probing allegations of police corruption, is sitting at the Hoshimamburu prison where Matlala is awaiting trial. He was arrested in connection with the attempted murder of his ex-girlfriend. Matlala has been named by various other witnesses as allegedly having an influence over police operational matters. He is also accused of scoring tenders through his high-level political connections. One of those tenders was a 360 million rand police health services contract, which was later cancelled because it was not properly awarded.
I only resigned from Medicare as a director, but I still own shares, 100% shares of Medicare. But the rest, I resigned completely. I don't have any control over them.
Now, we're going to deal with the Medicare 24 Tshwane district because that's the entity that applied for or that bid or tendered for the Medicare contract, the SAPS contract.
Staying with parliamentary matters, Parliament is set to lay a criminal complaint against former Road Accident Fund Chief Executive Officer Collins Letswalo. This is for snubbing an inquiry into financial maladministration at the fund for a second day. During an interview on the SABC program Face the Nation last night, Letswalo referred to the inquiry as a kangaroo court. The Standing Committee on Public Accounts will now ask the National Assembly Speaker to concur with its decision that Letswalo must face consequences for ignoring a summons to appear. Lindsay Dentlinger reports.
Parliament has never before acted against someone who has ignored a summons to appear before a committee. Today, Scopa moved its meeting online to allow for a last-minute change of heart by Collins Letswalo to give testimony on financial matters related to his tenure at the RAF in the event he was unable to travel to Cape Town. While the MK Party and EFF have appeared hesitant to take further steps against him, questioning the process to be followed, the ANC, DA and Action SA say a criminal complaint must be laid. Parliamentary legal advisor Fatima Ibrahim has advised the committee to follow through on the non-compliance.
You have a duty to conduct this oversight. You've undertaken to do it in this manner. And then to summons and simply ignore thereafter not only sets a bad precedent, but it calls into question whether the committee is then doing what it lawfully ought to be doing.
Committee Chairperson Zongezo Zibi says he will now write to the Speaker to inform her of the committee's decision and to request that she acts accordingly. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
To this now, the Ukrainian government has admitted it has foreign fighters in its army, but it says, unlike Russia, they were not manipulated into joining it. Kyiv's statement comes on the back of claims by 17 South African men who say they were duped by the Umkhonto weSizwe party to fight for Russia in its ongoing conflict with the Ukraine. In February 2022, Russia began its full-scale invasion into the Ukraine, resulting in a bloody war that has killed thousands of people from both nations. Tabiso Koba reports.
The conflict between Russia and Ukraine has been described as a proxy war, representing multiple interests that stretch beyond the two countries. This is also played out in the battlefield, with Russia having fighters from a number of African countries and North Korea. Ukraine's military ombudsperson, Olga Reshitlova, says they've also been forced to get outside help.
Unfortunately, we don't have so many resources as Russians have. So many of those who joined Ukrainian defense forces are people who share our values.
EWN understands a majority of the foreign soldiers fighting for Ukraine are from European Union countries where mercenary activities are illegal. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
To this now, the South African Human Rights Commission has found failures to address long-standing racial and gender inequalities in land lease allocations around Hartbeespoort Dam. This follows a complaint from the Hartbeespoort Dam Development Initiative